Welcome to the Coma Case Files, where we dive deep into the cold, the forgotten, and the unresolved. Today, we step back to New Year's Eve, 1986, in the heart of Washington, D.C., where a decorated U.S. Navy commander took his final steps into the darkness of a still unsolved mystery.
Welcome to Coma Case Files, the podcast where Cody and Matt unearth the forgotten crimes against the LGBTQ community. Each episode, they highlight not just the unresolved crimes, but also honor the lives of the individuals behind these cases. Join them now, and let's open up today's Coma Case File.
Gregory Pierce was a man of duty and honor. At 43, he was just months away from retiring from his long and distinguished service in the Navy. He was a man who served his country, but like so many others of his generation, he lived with a secret that in 1987 could have ended his career. It was just after midnight on January 1st, 1987. The streets of Washington, D.C. were still echoing with the sounds of celebration, the remnants of confetti lining the sidewalks. But for Commander Pierce, the night was anything but festive.
680 to 90, 10-4.
Pierce had spent the evening at the Chesapeake House, a gay bar tucked away on 9th Street. It was a familiar place, one where he could be himself, if only for a few hours. But as he left the bar with a companion by his side, two men emerged from the shadows. In an instant, the night turned deadly. Witnesses would later tell police that one of the men, described as a young and cold-blooded, drove a knife into Pierce's chest and neck. The attack was brutal, relentless. As Pierce lay unconscious, bleeding out onto the cold pavement, the attacker continued his assault, kicking him repeatedly, almost as if he was trying to erase Pierce from existence. Pierce's companion, terrified and desperate, managed to escape, narrowly avoiding his own violent end. But by the time help arrived, it was too late. Gregory Pierce was pronounced dead at George Washington University Hospital. But this wasn't just another senseless act of street violence. For those who knew the undercurrents of the city, this had all the hallmarks of a hate crime. A targeted attack on a man who had dedicated his life to serving a country that, at the time, did not accept him for who he was. Witnesses reported that just an hour before the murder, a group of young men had been shouting anti-gay slurs outside the Chesapeake House. Were these the same men who later attacked Pierce? The police then and now have been unable to confirm. Longtime D.C. homicide detective Danny Whalen, who now works the Cold Case Squad, knows this case well. Despite the decades that have passed, the image of Gregory Pierce's lifeless body, the brutality of that crime, haunts him. He says the original detectives did everything they could, exhausting every lead, but in the end, the killer slipped away into the night. Today, those men, assuming they're still alive, would be in their late 50s or early 60s, and yet no one has ever been brought to justice for Gregory Pierce's murder. In the end, the question remains, will Gregory Pierce's killer ever be brought to justice, or will his murder forever remain a dark, unresolved chapter in the annals of DC history? Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Coma Case Files. If you have any thoughts or tips about today's case, please reach out. Until next time, stay vigilant and remember, justice may sleep, but it never dies.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Coma Case Files. If you enjoyed unraveling this mystery with us, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us keep investigating and bringing these forgotten stories back to light. For exclusive content and further discussions, join our Patreon community. Make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and follow us on our social media platforms to stay updated on new episodes. Join us next time as we continue to uncover the truths hidden in the shadows. Until then, keep questioning, keep listening, and take care.